Welcome to step 3 of the door scene, interpreting the storyboard to film. In the last segment, we introduced the concept of storyboarding. Students drew sketches of their scene in a way that just about anyone could take those drawings and shoot the scene. In this segment, we'll see how important it is for the students to be clear with their vision. If they didn't follow instructions or draw just what they wanted to shoot, it might cause confusion and the final product will suffer.
So at the end of step 2, each group has a set of storyboards that either individually a group member has brought to the group and pitched and says, this is how I see this scene. Or each group member comes together and says, okay, here's my idea, and each group develops a unified storyboard. And they're all ready to shoot it because they're ready to try it again. And that's where the big surprise happens. What they don't know is that we take the storyboards from them and give them to another group.
And this is the one your groups are going to be shooting.
Oh, man.
Are you serious?
If you look at your instructions, one of the things on your instructions said your storyboard should be so clear a stranger can follow it.
It is a critical aha moment because that's the moment where these students understand, they realize just how invested they have been in this learning process. The purpose of that is to make sure that you are communicating as clearly as possible in those storyboards. It's right there in the assignment. But for some reason, the participants think, oh, well, it's one of those parameters that doesn't really mean anything. Well, it does, and it's a critical moment in learning the screen education process.
So now you've got to follow somebody else's storyboard because that's what really happens. And let's just see how clear your storyboards are. Okay, you ready for your cameras? Yeah. All right, let's go make a new film. And all of a sudden, they're going outside, filming somebody else's vision, and depending on how the group did on their storyboard, they might be able to interpret it, they might not. So they learn the importance of communicating the vision through the storyboard and of telling the story visually before they shoot it.
As students undertake this part of the process, they must adhere to 3 strict rules. They're not allowed to communicate with the team who created the storyboards. They have to shoot exactly what the storyboard they received communicates to them, and they may not try to improve the storyboard or add their own ideas.
When they took them away, it was kind of like, actually, like, what? No, we're not even shooting ours. We worked so hard. The group we got was like 5 different papers crossed out. And it was difficult, but at the same time, it was kind of like we have to use our minds. We have to think about what they envisioned. It's like putting yourself in someone else's shoes to shoot it.
Well, that was kind of a surprise. That was a surprise to all of us. Because when they said that, we heard them say, make it detailed, but we never thought we would actually be giving it to someone else. So when they gave our storyboards to a different group and we got another group's, after filming theirs, it wasn't exactly what they envisioned, but all 3 of the groups got pretty much the basic idea because of what they told us to make everything as detailed as possible.
So after they've filmed the other group storyboard, they come back and the classroom watches all the new films that were created.
Who's there?
We have the one group that drew the storyboard standing out in front of the room, while the group that shot the storyboard is up in the room, and we let them kind of argue a little bit. So how do you think they interpreted it?
Oh, they did what we said to do. I think we had a couple, I'm not sure if we had a couple extra shots, but or longer, but I think it was a little bit too long, and they shortened it up and made it appropriate.
Okay, do you want to show me a storyboard of one of those particular shots?
As you guide the class through the review, make sure they compare the films to the storyboards. Have the students consider the following questions. How closely does the film match the storyboard? What did the storyboard artist originally intend? Were there misinterpretations or discrepancies? What would have made the storyboard clearer? What criteria will the students adhere to the next time they do the exercise? And finally, what did the group learn?
So they go back and forth, and the students realize just how important it is to have a real concrete plan. And there's always funny mess ups, like the storyboards will be out of order or some other thing, and they realize how important it is to follow the process and not to take shortcuts.
They took it from a lot of their different individual storyboards that they created. So some of the drawings were unclear because they thought that they were going to be able to fix it later.
Now they've had 2 rounds of peer critique to really look and really understand how to be as clear as possible with their visual prose, as clear as possible with how they shoot their scene. And they are really anxious to get their storyboards back, because now they are really interested in shooting their scene the way they had envisioned it.
By the end of steps 2 and 3 of the door scene, your students will have a basic understanding of the shots they can use to tell a story, the importance of detailed planning and storyboarding, and how to work as a team to shoot their ideas. In step 4 of the process, students will get to shoot their own original storyboards. Step 4 of the door scene is next.